cash grab fights.
No comment. Not
No,
really
no comments.
interested. Not really interested in people trying to manipulate other people to fill their pockets.
I think it's disgusting.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's their problem.
No, I think it's disgusting for a super fighter like Floyd Mayweather to retire with 0 losses during his whole career and coming back to failing to knock out a YouTuber. I think it's disgusting. He had such a high reputation, he had such a good name to uphold in the sport, and for it to fall, it's like it's disgusting.
Money. People try making money everywhere they can.
I can understand making money, but throwing away your reputation as the world's best lightweight boxer is disgusting. It's disgusting for the sport.
But that's the point, isn't it? Jake, what's their names? I don't know these idiots. What's their names?
Jake and Logan. Jake and Logan Paul.
Oh,
Jake is the younger brother, and Logan is the older brother.
first of all, how heavy are they?
I don't know. They look buff.
Well,
I'm not gonna say that they aren't good boxers, but they're not. I wouldn't say that he's capable of going up against Floyd Mayweather, for example.
Well, how did they then fight against a lightweight boxer or middleweight
It's a cash
boxer?
grab. It's a cash grab. Like I said, it's a cash grab. But yeah, I think it's disgusting to lower. To be the world's best in whatever you do, and to come back down, and failing to knock out a YouTuber, a guy behind a camera.
Yeah, I guess people do anything for money.
So, what is your favorite sport?
Favorite.
What do you follow?
Bodybuilding used to be amateur bodybuilding, my late teens. Then got out of that because of steroid use and everything. Started breathing heavily, had pains in the heart, and decided it's not for me anymore. But since a kid, always loved racing, Formula One, Indy cars, and NASCARs. And one day, maybe I'd try my luck in Indianapolis 500 or something. But racing, boxing to me is not a sport. It's more about who's the bigger man, who's the stronger man. And although, don't get me wrong, no offense, but no disrespect, I don't see the point in getting into a ring and breaking your nose for a few bucks. There's so many other things you can do with your life than ruining your face and risking death.
Yeah, I don't know. To each his own. As you like F1 or bodybuilding, to them it's the same as boxing. It's as you said, you train and you did bodybuilding and stuff. It's a lifestyle to wake up early in the morning and train for 5 hours, 6 hours a day. Even though steroid use and blah blah blah, but it's still a lifestyle that you choose to live. Something that you are interested in. So for a boxer, if that's their lifestyle, that's their lifestyle.
I guess everything you do today, you have the lifestyle and get drawn into it.
I think in the old days, when Mike Tyson started and stuff, it was more about, this is the only thing I can do, so I'm going to do it to get by. But nowadays, people on top are people who enjoy it.
Well, my opinion, first of all, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, all these great boxers, even Tommy Gunn, that guy that he was supposed to face Mike Tyson. Those boxers had to box and achieve boxing through gaining their professional boxing license. They had to have a certain amount of fights before they could become a professional boxer. And now you mentioned these YouTubers, these guys have not even fought properly against anyone. I mean, Tommy Gunn had over 100 fights, amateur fights, before he gained his professional license. I think the California boxing committee is should take a look into it, because boxing is a proper way of life, I guess, if you're in that, and you have to have a lot of respect for them. But if you allow a YouTuber or someone to come in and gain a professional license to fight against someone like Floyd Mayweather, and a boxer that just came through the ranks and he just obtained his professional license by fighting, I mean, from the age of 15, let's say, to 25, 10 years of amateur fighting to gain an opportunity to gain a professional license, and he can't even fight Floyd Mayweather. He has to build himself up. I think it's very disrespectful towards professional boxers, and I think the California Boxing Committee should honestly start taking a look into it and stop doing it for the money, because let's be honest, boxing has turned into a money game, most of all now, because of all these amateurs all of a sudden becoming professionals and fighting the best of the best in the world. I mean, you cannot be a fighter in the UFC. You just started your first fight in the UFC, and the day after that you take on Conor McGregor or Brock Lesnar, which are already known in UFC, and you tell them, I'm going to break you, I'm going to fight you, I'm going to this and that and that. Yet you've not even had one professional fight against your name, and then all of a sudden Dana White or whoever puts you to fight Conor McGregor. It would be unfair. It's disrespectful towards his career and his achievements that he's made.
Yeah, it's disrespectful, but not all these, like these, that was a proper fight. But now to have, yeah, like I said, you know, for Floyd Mayweather to come back, you know, as the best in the world and what he does, and to come back and not being able to knock Logan Paul out, you know, going behind the camera, is ridiculous, it's stupid. But anyways, so we are here today to talk about your passion and what you do and who you are. So I hear that you are working on a script for a horror movie or a thriller movie.
Well, it's actually me and my partner, so we're working on this horror film, but it's similar to Halloween. Michael Myers Halloween, but it's not going to be your average walk-of-the-mall horror movie with nudity and stuff. I don't believe in it, first of all. I believe if you have to put nudity into a horror movie, it's either the horror movie is very bad, and your script's very bad, and you have to rely on the nudity of a woman to gain views from the sick men in the world today. And if you have to swear, it's just, your script's bad. So this movie is basically pure horror. It's actually about a family guy that is actually a psychopath. So
it's more of a thriller than a horror movie.
Yeah, more thriller than a horror, but it is like 50% horror, 50% thriller. A lot of nice killing scenes in it, but yeah, I mean, I can't wait for it to get released.
To touch on what you said about the nudity, I agree with what you're saying, that certain films will compromise in certain situations. For, you know, as an example, a naked woman or a sex scene or whatever, or you know, or have a big name in the film to draw attention. But isn't there like a base guideline of things that must be in the film?
I think it's more Hollywood that makes the decisions because of, let's be honest, when filming was so young, I mean, James Dean and those people, show me one scene where James Dean had erotic moment in his films. Show me one. Or, you know, so basically I think it's the directors of this generation aren't the same as the directors of late generation, where they were strictly focused on producing a film, because imagination is filmmaking. So whatever you imagine in your mind, that's what you're going to produce on a film. on the script. So I think it is a generation of today. They rely as a backup plan to have nudity in their film or swearing in their film if the script doesn't make it. But to me, to be honest, why I got into it is just because I love putting my imagination on screen. Let's say, for instance, like Peter Jackson, that's his imagination. That's how he thinks. That's his.
Yeah, but he's been doing it since he was a little kid. He started with, I think it's Peter Jackson. He started filming in his backyard with toys and stuff. So, you know, to touch back on sports, you know, it's something that's been there in your mind, you know, the way you live for, you know, not 2 years, you know, it's been there for a while. So obviously you are going to be better than the next person. So for example, Peter Jackson doesn't need to put a nudity scene in his movie as a, you know, as an attention seeker and stuff like that. But you do agree that there are certain things that, you know, there's a guideline.
Yeah, it is a guideline, I think, to certain things, but that depends if you're going to rely on a Hollywood-based production company to produce your film. Like I tell my partner, you don't need to live in Hollywood to be famous in Hollywood. Hollywood, I mean, the first ever film was not made by a Hollywood-based company. If you're going to work through a Hollywood-based company to produce your film, they are going to tell you basically, you're going to do it how we want to do it. So they take a lot of leverage away from you. That's why I think it's better if, I mean, you can be famous. You can live in Ghana and be a famous director. And Hollywood, everyone knows your name. Just because you don't allow other people to take leverage away from you, and you can start up your own production company, and you can write your own scripts, and you can produce your own scripts, and you can act in your own scripts, and you can film your own scripts. It is actually anyways better because your imagination as a writer, you write that script regarding on how you see it in your head. So you already know how the actors should be acting, and you know where the camera is going to be, and you know how it should be produced and to what public it's going to be produced to. So, like I said, you don't need Hollywood to be famous in Hollywood. Do your own thing, create your own production company, write your own scripts, direct your own film, and be an actor in your own film. And then there's no guideline. It's your guideline.
So tell me more about this film that you're working on now.
Basically, like I said, it's a family guy that...
What's his name?
Hunter
Hill.
Yeah, Hunter Hill. He's hunting on the hill. So it's a family guy that's basically...
Went psychic.
They go on the filming crew to this hotspot, but I'm not going to say too much because but it's a family guy that's a psychopath basically, similar to Michael Myers.
Now, did he start out as a psycho, or does he turn into psycho during the film?
Well, number 2's already been started, so we're writing number 2, Hunter Hill, clinically insane. Basically, it explains his whole life story there and what's wrong with him and everything. But I guess every normal human being has a area in his brain that he's psycho, and it's just some people snap and some people don't. But it is basically a psychopath, but it's a family guy, so it shows you both sides of being a man. I guess not good to be a man that kills people, but it shows you what goes on even in the calmest of people.
Okay. And something else. How did you get into directing, script writing, acting? Has it always been something that I've been interested in, or is it something that just came lately?
When I was 8 years old, I can still remember it. I used to watch films like Friday the 13th and stuff, and I never used to watch the film first. I used to watch behind the scenes. the acting in the scripts and stuff, and the cameras. I love cameras and green screens and stuff. So, but then it disappeared. It was only momentarily, and then I met my partner. So she's an actress that's well known in Hollywood, in LA, and in India. She has a lot of awards and stuff. Then we just decided let's write our own films, let's produce our own films. But we decided actually to do a series on paranormal because she's into paranormal and I'm into paranormal, and I said okay, good. But I said like I'll only do it if we do it for the cause of basically what we want to do, not fake or anything. And then we we started writing the script and a few other scripts. I guess we have 11 scripts we're busy with at the moment. But the reason I got into it is not because of Academy Awards or an award for film or living in LA. First of all, I don't really want to live in LA. I don't want to be part of a town that sucks you up.
It's just something that you appreciate, something that you enjoy.
No, it's just something when the time comes, if we're 80 years old, we can sit back in our bed and put on our own movies and look back at 50 years ago and see what we've done. And yeah.
So you said it started at 8 years old, so it's always been in the back of your mind. It was just more of, this was just something that I enjoyed as a kid, and you kept it aside until now.
Like if you have a dream as a kid, but it's not being realized because it is far-fetched.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, far-fetched dream.
Okay, so it's been in you for a while. Okay. In your opinion, what is the difference between, let's say, a horror film you produce and a horror film that gets produced in, Hollywood, for example? What's the difference? Let's say you have your own independent company producing a horror film. What would the end result look like? What would the difference be? Explain that to me.
Well, the point is, horror films are very cheap to make and they're very easily successful because people love seeing other people kill each other and being scared on the edge. But the difference, I think, would be, like I said, there's no nudity in our horror films, and there's also no swearing in our horror films. So it's basically PG-18 violence. And I treat every script we write like say for instance there's 3 of these movies coming up, like a trilogy. A lot of people, they usually just focus on number 1 and then they backtrack number 2 and 3. They don't care. I treat every script as it's number 1. So all the trilogies will be even better. So number 2 will be better than number 1, and it's pure. Like there's no nudity, there's no swearing. If my phone
So you basically mean that you're gonna be relying on
pure filming.
Yeah, pure filming, the directing, the acting, the mood in the scenes, the camera work, the photography. So you're mainly gonna be acting on a proper film, a proper script.
Yeah,
So what you're saying.
pure filming and relying on something that's art.
Art, you are relying on art basically.
Yeah.
You are relying on the art form of it. Okay. What do you want to achieve in your career, like long-term goals?
Hopefully an Academy Award one day, but also, becoming the best production company, the best director in LA along with my partner, because that's one thing we agreed on. I will not do this without her, and she will not do it without me. So hopefully becoming the best director and production company in LA, in the world, by
even if one of the best, or even if one of the well-known.
See, there's no gray area with me.
But like to be one of the best, it isn't a gray area.
Let me ask you a question. Why would you put in So many hours, sleepless nights of writing a script, and you aim for be one of the best. Why don't you want to be the best? Because I can tell you something, if you have that in your mind and you want to be the best director or the best production company in LA, and you write that script and you have it in the back of your mind whilst you're writing it, you'll make it flawless. And that's the point. You need to write something and you need to know already you're going to be successful. You need to know nothing's going to stand in your way and no one's going to be better than you.
No, I agree, but I think there are in the industry that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of directors or companies. So to be in the top 10, even if you can't be the best, to be in the top 10 or one of the best is is an honor as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And what type of music do you listen to? Off topic quickly. Is there something you
Piano music, classic, Beethoven. I like Hans Zimmer's music, like the Interstellar soundtrack.
Hans Zimmer does a lot of film work.
Yeah, so I like orchestra and stuff, but I also like Marilyn Manson and Nickelback. Those types of music.
No, Nickelback's a loser.
Yeah.
And then if you were thinking, if you were not filming right now, like if this never happened, in your mind, what do you think you would be doing right now? If you weren't following filming, acting, or producing?
Formula One, if I had the money, racing Formula One, or IndyCar, NASCAR, if I didn't have enough money. Racing in the US.
Or at least the suit.
Yeah.
And how old are you now, Claude?
25.
25. You're old.
I'm not old.
Yeah.
I'm not old.
Yes, you're old. How is your relationship with your partner being affected, if affected, by the career choice you two are trying to pursue now?
It's not being affected in a negative
I would
way.
assume so.
It's being affected in a positive way, but yeah, there are certain times when I get very jealous, but jealous in a loving way.
Yeah, obviously it's good to have a partner that is, focused on the same thing as you and has the same goals as you. I would never say to be successful and then take a partner. I would say take a partner when you start at the bottom. And then build your own empire. So it's good to have a partner that stands by you and has the same goals and morals as you.
Yeah.
So it's not being affected at all.
No, it's being affected positively.
Yeah, like you said, she does acting as well, so I'm assuming that she enjoys it, she loves it.
Yeah, we write the scripts together. It's fun.
Since filming is something that you like doing, like you said, you saw something when you were 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to be Superman, but since it's something
you can still be Superman, go audition for the Superman role.
Since it's something that you enjoy doing, what is your favorite genre? Is it horror? Is it romance? Is it adventure?
Fantasy, sci-fi.
So sci-fi, yeah.
Fantasy, sci-fi, horror, thriller, and true stories. That life stories. That to me is what I love watching the most because it's honest, it's pure. Like for instance, why I like horror films, it's not because of the style. It's just because of the killing scenes. Seeing like Michael Myers, for instance, one of his kill scenes is where he goes into a garage, takes a hammer, goes into a house, beats a woman's head in. But then you can hear the baby crying. He walks towards the baby, just looks at the baby, and leaves. Like that sense of killing immodest people, but leaving the innocent. I mean, who's the actual criminal then? Yeah,
I saw that scene as well. Also, when watching that particular scene that you're talking about, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about pure filmmaking and writing and cinematic work. The fact that he didn't talk once in that whole scene, that whole sequence, and it was just solely relying on the camera work and the acting skills of the actor. You know, and the lighting and stuff like that. Um, it's it's a really how can I say um, impressionable scene to see. That's where pure filmmaking comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Honesty of what your character really is.
And would you ever go into these genres that you're also taking a liking into?
Yeah, well, we're busy with a horror now, a horror thriller, and sci-fi. We're actually busy writing something with heavy sci-fi. It's like 99% full CGI. And adventure from fantasy, yeah, we're also busy writing some. Like I said, we are at the moment busy writing 11 scripts. So, and then there's another 28 names of 4 scripts that we wrote down quickly. But we're still waiting on that.
Alright, well, it was nice meeting you. Nice doing this little interview with you. I hope to see your name on the big screen someday. And